Wait. I don't need to wait. Okay. Recording in progress.
Right. Well, welcome back. Are we ready? So tomorrow's the last day of school.
Yeah.
Goodness, I remember those days. So where are you going to go to high school, Faith?
Montgomery.
Nice. Cool.
My brother went there.
Oh, is that where he graduated from?
Yeah.
Nice. We're going to get started. Who's got prayer requests? Yeah.
I want to still pray for that shooting in San Francisco. Still that shooting.
All right. Anyone else? We'll pray for all the graduates coming up.
Yeah, the graduates. Yeah.
So when's your graduation, Faith?
I didn't have a graduation,
Oh, okay.
but I had a ceremony.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Any other prayer requests? Nope. All right. We are going to get started. And for whatever prayer requests are out there for people that are going to be watching this later, we're praying for you too.
So, is there any boot camp this Saturday?
There should be.
Yeah. Oh.
I know. All right. So our scripture today is Psalm 5 and 8. And Faith, go ahead and read it for us.
Make your way
Straight
before me.
Good. All right. And our Lord's Prayer chant.
Like Reverend Francis said.
That's right. He sure does.
Yeah.
All right. Tanaya, are you ready?
Ready.
Go ahead.
Our Father, who which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. But thine is the kingdom and the power and glory forever. Amen.
Good job. All right. So Jacob leaves Laban. All right. So last week, let me pull this up because my printer still is not plugged in. All right, why is that? Oh, well, that's fine. All right, so last week we heard how God had blessed Jacob even though Laban tried to cheat him. So remember when Jacob wanted to marry Rachel and Laban said he had to work 7 years to get her as a wife, and then when the 7 years passed, he gave him Leah, her sister, instead, and then said, oh, well, now you have to work another 7 years and then you're going to get Rachel. And then he finally did. Do you remember kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we're going to hear how things got really bad between Laban and Jacob. And it was time for Jacob to get away in a hurry. So our lesson this week is called Jacob Leaves Laban, and he left like in a hurry. So this was the second time that Jacob had to leave quickly. Remember when him and his brother, Jacob and the mom cheated Esau out of the blessing when Abraham was dying?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it all kind of, so this was the second time, and then Jacob had to leave because Esau was going to kill him. And now we're going to hear about how, about how he has to leave Laban in a hurry and why. So yeah, so Esau had been really angry with him for what he did. So sometimes, we do have to leave our homes or places in a hurry. like if we're late or if there's an emergency or it's a dangerous situation. Remember when we had the wildfires, people had to leave their homes,
Yeah, like evacuate.
evacuate, right? And
Yeah.
so today we're going to hear why Jacob had to leave his home quickly. So we are going to be in Genesis 31, and we're going to split it up because it's 55 verses today.
Yeah.
Did you just say 31?
Genesis 31, yeah.
Wow.
Got it.
Unless you want to read all 55.
Now, no, 55.
You?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're a great reader. So if you want it, if you get tired of reading, let me know and I can take over, okay?
Do all.
Yeah, so we're going to start at verse 1 and go all this. So it's the entire chapter 31.
Oh,
Chapter 31 has 55 verses, and so you start at verse 1 and go all the way to 55.
okay.
Okay, you ready for that?
Ready.
Okay, you go right ahead.
Now, Jacob heard the words of Laban.
Uh-huh.
Son said Jacob has taken away from all that, all that was our father's, and from what our fathers have acquired all this wealth.
Yeah.
Jacob saw the conscience of Laban, and indeed was available for him as before. Then the Lord said to Jacob, return to the land of your fathers and to your family, and I will be with you. So Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field to his flock,
Yes.
and he said to them, I see your father's consonants.
Let's see. Spell it for me.
It's COUNTENANCE.
Countenance.
Consonants that is not fail. Can't pronounce that word.
I don't have that word, so spell it for me.
It's FAVORABLE.
Favorable.
Favorable to told me as before, but the God had father my father has been with me, and you know that with all my might I have served. Is it I have served your father?
Yes.
Yet your father has deceived me and changed my wages 10 times, but God did not allow him to hurt me, but he said, thus
Uh-huh.
the spackle shall be your wages, and then all the flocks bore spackled, and if he said thus, the spackled shall
Uh-huh.
be all your wages, and then all the flocks shall be striped.
Uh-huh.
So God has taken away the livestock and of your father and give them to me. And it happened at the time when the fox conceived, I lifted my eyes and saw it in a dream, and behold, the rams leaped upon, and the flocks were striped, sparkled, and gray spotted. And an angel of God the angel of God spoke to me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here I am. And he said, Lift up your eyes now and see all the rams which leaped on the flocks or striped, speckled, and gray spotted. For you I have seen all Laban has done to you. I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed the pillar, and where you made me a vow to meet. Now arise, get out of this land, and return to the land of your family. Then Rachel and Leah answered and said to him, Is there still any portion or inheritance for my father for us in our father's house? And we are not considered strangers by him, for he has sold us and completely consumed our money, which for all those riches which God has taken from our father, which really ours and our children's. Now then, whatever God said to you to do it, Jacob rose and sat his sons and wives on camels and carried them away with his livestock, all his possessions which he had gained and acquired, livestock which he had gained in Padan? Amram, go to his father Isaac in the land of Canaan. Now Laban has gone to shear his sheep.
Yes.
And Rachel stolen the household idols that were her father's, and Jacob stole the unknown to Laban, the Syrian, and that he did not tell him to intended to flee.
Yes.
So he fled with all that, and he arose and crossed the river, headed towards the mountains of Gilead.
Mm-hmm.
And Laban told on the third day that Jacob had fled. Then he took his brethren with him and pursued him for 7 days' journey and overtook the mountains of Gilead.
Yeah.
But God had came to Laban, the Syrian, in a dream by night, and he said to him, Be careful that you speak to Jacob, or neither good nor bad. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob has pitched his tent in the mountains, and Laban with his brother pitched in the mountains of Gilead.
Mm-hmm.
And Laban, what? Said to Jacob, What have you done that stolen away unknown to me and carried my daughters like captives, taken with the sword? Why did you flee away secretly and stole them from me and not tell me, for I might have sent you away with joy and song, with timbrel and harp?
Mm-hmm.
And you did not allow me to kiss your sons and my daughters. Now you have done foolishly, and so doing, it is in my power to do you harm. But the God of your father spoke to me last night, saying, be careful you speak to Jacob, neither good nor bad. And now you said, surely had gone, because you have greatly longed for your father's house. But why did you steal my gods? Then Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said, perhaps you would take your daughters from me by force. With whomever you find your gods, do not let them live in the presence of our brethren. Identify what I have of yours and take it with you. For Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen them, and Laban went into Jacob's tent, into Leah's tent, and went into the maid's tents, and did not find them. And he went out of Leah's tent and entered Rachel's tent. And Rachel has taken the household idols, put them in the camel's saddle, and sat on them. And Laban searched all about the tent, but did not find them. And he said to her father, now that it displeased my lord, I could not rise before you for the manner of woman with me. And he searched, but did not find the household idols. And Jacob was angry and rebuked Laban. And Jacob answered and said, Laban, what is my trespass? What is my sin? That you so hotly pursued me, that although you have searched all my things, what part of your household things have you found? Set it here before my brethren and your brethren, that may judge between us both. 20 years I have been with you. Is it your ears?
Spell it.
EWES.
Yes, it's an animal, a ewe.
Oh, and the female goats have miscarried their young and have not eaten the lambs of your flock, that which was torn by beasts. I did not bring to you. I bore the loss of it. You have required from my hand, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. There I was in the day, and the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and they sleep departed from my eyes. Thus I have been in your house 20 years. I served you 14 years for your 2 daughters and 6 years for your flock, and I have exchanged my wages 10 times. Unless the God of my father, the God of Abraham, the fear of Isaac, had been with me, surely now you would have sent me away empty-handed. God has seen my affection and labor of my hands and rebuked you last night.
Mhm.
And Laban answered and said to Jacob, these daughters are my daughters, and those children are my children, and this flock is my flock, and all that all you see is mine. But what I can do this day to these my daughters or my children, to their children whom they have borne.
Mhm.
Now therefore I came, and let us make a covenant, you and I. Let be a witness between you and me. So Jacob took up a stone and set it as a pillar. Then Jacob said to his brethren, gather stones, and then and they took the stones and made it a heap. Huh?
Yes.
And he ate it there on the heap. Laban called it juggal. I can't pronounce that word.
That's
Juggal.
a tough one. I think it's Jagar Sahadutha.
Sadutha.
There you go. Sounds good to me.
Lead. And Laban said this heap was a witness between you and me this day. There for its name called Gilead,
Uh-huh.
and also Mizpah.
Uh-huh.
And he said, may the Lord which be between you and me, when we're absent from one another, you affect my daughters. And if although there's no man is with us, God is witness to you and me. Then Laban said to Jacob, here is this heap, and here is this pillar, which I have placed between you and me. A witness I that will not pass this heap to you, and you will not pass beyond this heap and this pillar to me for harm. Then God of Abraham, of Abraham, the God of Nehar,
Mm-hmm.
then the God of their father be judge between us. And Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac. Then Jacob offered a sacrifice on the mountain and called his brethren to eat bread, and stayed all night on the mountain. And early in the morning, Laban rose and kissed his sons and daughters and blessed them. Then Laban departed and returned to his place.
All right. Good job. That was a lot of reading.
Sure.
Right. So basically, Jacob had, the Laban and his sons were getting kind of jealous of Jacob, and they thought that all the riches and wealth that Jacob had should be going to them. And then God spoke to Jacob through a dream and said, you know, basically that they're going to harm you. You need to get out of here. Right.
Yeah.
And so he picked, you know, he told Leah and Rachel what happened. And they said they were all on board and they said, you know, if God told you to do it, let's do it. We're not going to get anything from our father anyway. So they kind of did that hurry thing, you know, and they got out. They got the kids, he got Rachel and Leah, and he fled. And so Laban went looking for them, and he was going to hurt Jacob. But God spoke to Laban and said, don't you dare, right?
Yeah.
And so he found them and he said, well, why? And I guess Rachel had taken some of Laban's, her dad's idols. They did idol worship, which wasn't good. And so she had taken some, but Jacob didn't know that she took them. And so Laban came and he said, you know, why did you leave like that? And who, you know, why did you steal my gods? And he was talking about the idols. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And go look, you know, I didn't steal anything from you. I was with you for 20 years and I did nothing but good for you. And I guess he couldn't find it because Rachel had put it on the camel and she was sitting on the camel and she stuffed it in whatever was on the camel and said she couldn't get up because she was having her monthly woman thing. And so then they decided to call a truce basically, and they put a heap of stones and they said, you know, neither one of us is going to cross this to hurt each other, right? Because he knows, you know, it was his daughters and his grandchildren, and he didn't want to hurt them. You know. So they did that, and then they had a feast, and then they gave an offering to God, and then the next morning Laban got up and kissed his kids and his daughters and the grandchildren, and he left. So there was peace in the end, right?
Yeah.
But at first, you know, that anger and that jealousy and all of that, that could have made someone, that sometimes makes people do things that aren't okay, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not okay.
No.
Not okay. So God warned him, and then God protected him because God said, leave. Oops,
Here, get
I will be with you.
what? Sorry,
They
okay.
trusted God, right?
Okay.
God. So, all right. So why
Yeah.
did Jacob need to get away from Laban?
I don't know why.
Because Laban and his sons felt that Jacob's wealth should be theirs, right? They were greedy. Greed took over and jealousy. And so God warned him to leave with Rachel and Leah and the kids and that he would be with them. Okay. Because it was becoming a dangerous situation. So God protected Jacob and his wives and the kids. So God knew that Laban would hurt Jacob if they stayed, right?
Yeah.
And so he got him out of a very, very bad situation and helped them get away to safety. And so sometimes we might find ourselves, you know, in a bad situation, or we might need to get away from someone and find a safe place to go to, or there could be a storm or fires, or we might need the courage to do the right thing when other people are doing wrong. Sometimes people are in abusive situations and they need to get out. They can get help and protect themselves, right? So whatever the bad situation is that we're in, we need to ask God to help us, right? We can, and we need to say, God, please help us. And the first thing we need to do when we need God's help is what?
Pray.
Pray.
Yes, good. Absolutely. So the first thing we should do is pray and ask God to help us make good decisions about how to get away from a bad situation, right?
Yeah.
So always when we're, no matter what, we should always pray to God about any decision that we have to make. It doesn't necessarily have to be a decision about leaving a dangerous situation. That's just what this particular Bible lesson was about tonight. But there's all kinds of situations that you should always ask God. So any questions or comments about what we just read?
No.
Mm.
Okay. All right, so we are going to read the story here. Enough. All right, let's see. It's that and a little bit here. Okay, not too bad. Pretty. All right. Faith, are you ready to read?
God blessed Jacob with a large and
Herd.
herd of sheep and goats. Jacob was now a
Rich.
rich man. Laban
Good.
and his sons were not happy. They thought Jacob's
Wealth.
wealth should be Laban's. God knew what Laban and his sons were thinking. God told Jacob, leave this land, return to your home
So I can give them to Rudy.
land.
Anything.
Wait a minute. You're asking me to be the trustee of your kids when you die.
Hold on, Maria.
Take care of them. Take care of them and keep them
Mom,
safe and
yeah,
give them a
both
safe
daddy.
living home. But you don't want to let me talk to them? That makes no
That is
sense.
not talking about. I'm talking about you don't turn around and act like this. Oh my God.
Why can't I talk to them? What are you talking about?
Okay, we're going to mute that. Go ahead and keep reading.
This
Where were we? Leave this land. Oh, return to your homeland.
turn to your home,
Gather
gather your family, animals, and
belongings.
belongings. I will be with you. Jacob called
Rachel.
Rachel and
Leah.
Leah together. He told them God's plan. Jacob said, I have worked hard for your father for
20.
20 years, yet he is not happy with me. He has
Cheated.
cheated me and cheated my
Changed.
changed my
Let me bring this up a little. You're right here. The word is wages.
wages, but God did not let him harm me. God blessed me. Instead, he made me
Rich.
rich now. He said, it is time to go home. The woman knew their father was
Dishonest.
dishonest. They said, Do whatever God says. Jacob packed up his family and all that was his. He did not say goodbye to Laban. Laban found out Jacob was gone. He went after Jacob. God warned
Good.
Laban, watch what you say and do. Laban got up with Jacob. He asked, why did you leave
Secretly.
secretly? You did not let me kiss my daughters and grandchild goodbye. I would have given you a going away party. I should harm you, but God warned me not to. Jacob said, I was afraid you would take away my family for 20 years. You have changed,
He did.
cheated me. You would have taken everything I own, but God is with me. He did not let you. Laban said, everything you have is mine, but for my daughters and grandchildren, I will make a
Agreement.
agreement with you.
Good. I think we have a little bit more. Okay.
Laban and Jacob made a promise before God. They
Agreed.
agreed not to harm each other. They agreed to stay away from each other. The next morning, Laban kissed his daughters and grandchildren goodbye. He turned around and went home.
Good job. Good reading. What's up? Tanaya, are you leaving?
No.
What?
Oh, I thought you were leaving. It looked like you were getting your bag. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's
just
okay.
put my Bible away.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Good.
not leaving.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're not leaving. All right. This says time to go. George, read our directions.
Jacob and his family get away from
Laban.
Ben. Find the safe road to and
Through the maze. Good job. All right. So, okay. I think we're going from there to the tree.
What?
Oh, a tree.
What, George? What tree?
Right there, a tree.
I know that, George. That's in the maze.
Oh my. All right. Well, let's see where this leads us.
Oh, wow.
What, is that the maze?
Yeah.
It's really
I don't know if I'm going the right way. I'm just going.
Is that really complicated?
Well, we'll find out.
Okay.
See. All right. I think if we go this way,
Yeah.
here. Hey. All right.
Pretty.
So we made it. We got away from Laban.
Laban.
That guy. All right. So this story is called David Speaks Up. Oh boy, that sounds like a good one. All right, Tanaya, are you ready to read our story?
Ready.
Okay.
David got a job at the fast food restaurant. He was excited. He showed up to work every day. Then Ralph came to work. At first, he seemed nice. Then David noticed Ralph liked to play jokes on people. Sometimes it was funny. Sometimes it was mean.
Uh-huh.
And David saw Ralph spit on a sandwich.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Oh,
Hey,
and wrapped it up, and he put a sandwich in the bag for a customer.
That's disgusting.
It was disgusting.
oh, what?
Spit on a sandwich.
That is rude. Okay, let's find out what happened.
David was scared. He was not sure what to do. He thought, if I tell,
Uh-huh.
they would not believe me. I may get fired.
Uh-huh.
David prayed, dear God, help me. I know what to do. David, no. Is it new or no?
New.
New? He should tell the manager.
Mm-hmm.
He grabbed the bag and he took it to the manager. The manager opened the sandwich. He saw the spit.
Uh-huh.
Ugh. There was store video confirmed David's story. Ralph was fired. The manager thanked David. He said, this was a bad situation. Well, you did the right thing. You can work here as long as you want. David thanked God for helping him with this bad situation.
Well, that was an interesting story, wasn't it?
Gross.
Disgusting when you spit on a
What?
sandwich.
What?
Well, you got to be careful. Sometimes workers do some pretty gross things.
Disgusting when they spit on a sandwich.
Spit on someone's sandwich and then went to give it to him to eat. And David was scared because he thought, well, if they don't believe me, I'm going to get fired. But he knew he was right. He knew he couldn't let that person eat a spit on sandwich. That's disgusting.
Ew.
Disgusting.
It is disgusting, George. You're right, George. It is.
Yeah.
My George,
That is a bad situation to be in. What would you do if you saw that?
you tell the manager.
Right. Would you tell the person, like if the person took the bag and started to walk out, would you stop them and say, don't eat that?
Yes.
Yeah, I would too. I would definitely call someone out if they did something to somebody's food like that. That's disgusting.
Manager.
Yeah. That is not a nice thing to do. And it's, what if that person's sick? Someone could get really sick doing that.
That's
So,
disgusting.
I
Mm.
agree. That's pretty bad. All right. This says get away. Use these helps when you need to get away from a bad situation. Number 1, call 911.
Oh, no.
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 You don't call 911 when you're in an emergency?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are things talking about when you're in a really bad situation, different things that you can do. So calling 911 is definitely something that that is a good idea if you're in a scary or dangerous situation, or if something is happening or you see an accident or something, you can always call 911. And then what is this one say? Tell.
I know what it said.
What does it say?
Tell a police officer.
That's right. Sometimes that's what they're there for. They can be very helpful in certain situations, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then George, what does this one say?
Go ahead.
Say.
Say no and walk away.
Say no and walk away. That's another good one, right? If somebody's acting kind of not okay, you say no and walk away, right?
Yeah.
Faith, what does this one say?
Go to a safe place.
Good job.
Faith.
Yeah, so that is another good piece of advice, that find somewhere safe to go. Usually, where other people are sometimes, or in a different room that has a lock. It just depends on the situation you're in, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, so good. Well, that was a much different lesson than we usually get.
Yeah.
So it did, sometimes we're in these situations, but we just have to trust God. And while you're finding somewhere safe to go, make sure you're praying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, asking God to help you out of that scary situation.
Yeah.
All right. So excellent job, you guys. So one thing you learned or remembered from tonight's lesson, we're going to start with Faith.
Grandchildren?
Is upset because he didn't get to say goodbye to his grandchildren, huh? Dan and Tanaya?
Leave Laban.
Laban, he wasn't very nice at first, but then he called a truce, didn't he?
Yeah.
And George.
Go ahead.
God.
Huh?
God.
God. Okay. What did God do in this instance? Did he help?
Yeah.
Huh?
God help George.
Sin.
Huh?
He's saying sin.
Sin.
Oh, well, in our story tonight, who did God help?
Jacob.
There you go. All right. And I can't believe none of you remembered about the spit.
Oh,
God.
ew. Ew.
I know. I think we want to forget about the spit, don't we?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to make my own sandwiches from now on.
Not one at the restaurant.
Absolutely. All right, you guys did such a great job tonight. That was a great lesson. And who's going to pray us out? Maya?
Huh?
Are you praying us out?
Yeah.
Okay.
And please, God, help this COVID to get over with. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, everybody have a great night. Faith, have a great last day. And summer will go by so fast. Don't worry. You'll see your friends again. And you guys did excellent job. We should see you on Saturday for boot camp.
Camp.
Boot camp.
Boot camp. All right. And then we start a new lesson in boot camp on Saturday. We're done with the prayer one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you guys. We'll see you Saturday.
At 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.